All right, so if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. I would appreciate it. Now, I normally don't talk about this kind of stuff when it comes to people outside that of myself, but I can relate to this situation very much. I think most of us can. So we have Brooke Hogan, um, who should have been a pop star. If we're all being honest, Brooke Hogan should have been a pop star. She was the famous daughter of the legendary Hulk Hogan. No matter how you feel about him today, at one point in time, Hulk Hogan was considered the most famous, popularized wrestler at one point in time. But Brooke had to make a choice eventually. And that came later in life, like it does for a lot of us. It comes from a lot of toxic families. To stay and follow down their path and continue and repeat the cycle, or to leave and grow and build your own family and found a good, strong foundation and love. And it seems like she chose the second one. Now, Linda Hogan came out recently pretty much saying that Brooke left the family. She didn't know why. She praised Nick, which I thought was very odd because if you want me to be honest with you, Nick is DUI Nick. He caused damage and lies for family for his recklessness. And he really didn't pay that serious of a consequence due to the nature of who his father is. So here's what we're going to do. Brooke responded to her mother in a very mature, calm way. And it seemed like Brooke has really grown as a woman. Now, I haven't heard from Brooke in a very long time that most of us haven't. I don't really keep track of her. In fact, I didn't even follow her on Instagram up until recently. And it's a beautiful thing to see that she's so calm and seemed to be at peace and happy, even has her own family and gave birth to twins recently. I'll go over her response. She pretty much wrote a thesis as a response to her mother and her online rant on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. It's all over the place. Just pick a platform and you'll see her mother's response. So let's go ahead and start with her mother's video first, and then I'll go ahead and go over Brooke's response.
Okay, so I'm just home by myself today. Again, as usual, I'm okay with most things, but today something hit. I don't know what hit, but I look terrible because I've been crying. And yesterday I went to try to go have Botox and shit, and they bruised me like, I don't know, but it's been 15 or longer years since I got left Hulk Hogan. And
you know, honestly, I didn't think it was 15 years already. I still remember when it was in the news when those two were splitting. A lot of the times they thought it was fake because they've been together for so long. I think they were together for almost 30 years at one point. So it's interesting. 15 years. I didn't know it's been that long.
My family is in the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She's had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had twins. She didn't tell us. She had a huge fight with Terry. I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8 years now. And God bless Nick. He's still such a good boy.
Okay. The man that ruined two people's lives. Actually, more than that, because you can met their families too.
I've never put a Facebook post out like this with my ugly face and my crying face, but I have to be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan and what it entailed and what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He is a sex addict. Your face out there and know that all these horrible things are going on behind the scenes.
I don't know why she's saying that he's an sex addict whenever she got with one of Brooke's classmates. Or excuse me, he went to the same school. I think he was a couple grades ahead, I want to say. But still, that's extremely creepy to be with somebody that could have been dating your daughter that went to the same school.
Yet he marches on. He marches on like, yeah, oh, I'm promoting my own beer, real American beer. Yeah, look at me. Woo! Yeah, he's such a hero, right?
She wouldn't have that attitude. They were still together.
Not. Okay, I'm gonna give you my thumbs down. I've given him more opportunities to come back and make us a family, and
She's still saying this 15 years later, but didn't she leave him for a younger guy that kind of looked like him? That was her daughter's friend. But she can't let the man go. And that's kind of crazy because Hulk Hogan's reputation and legacy has been very tainted to the point that he's going to go down in disgrace instead as the legendary status that he should have if he just would have kept his mouth closed. But, you know, whatever. People only going to be fake for so long. You'll discover who somebody truly is eventually. It has took Hulk Hogan almost 40 years for his legacy to get destroyed.
and try to, I'm sorry, it's so sad.
This is one of these times in life that you got to get offline and get a therapist. This is not something you bring to the internet for everybody to see. And I guess she was hoping that this would play at some heartstrings, with Brooke and Hulk and had them contact her. But I just don't see it. And I'm pretty sure the only reason she said Nick is such a good kid is because he's the only one I probably stayed in contact with throughout all these years.
And it's been 20 years and I'm still this sad. Somebody please explain that. I don't know. It just doesn't get better. I do love living alone. I don't ever want to be married again after him. Trust me. But I love my...
So she says she loved living alone while you hear a bunch of birds and stuff in the background, which leads me to think that she's lonely and she's trying to fill that hole with whatever she can, and normally animals. Because if you feed an animal and don't abuse it, it will not leave you. It will stay by your side and for the rest of their lives, because normally you're going to outlive your pets and animals and whatever else. But let's go ahead and take a look at Brooke's Instagram page, because that's where she went ahead and replied to this whole entire situation of her mom's video. And I didn't know that their life was that chaotic, that dysfunctional. I just figured, you know what? People get divorced. It happens. So what? But if you go by Brooke, it seems like it's a much different story there. And again, like I said, I just started following her today. And you know what I've been noticing when I look at TikTok videos and stuff like this, of the situation, that a lot of people have large support for Brooke. They want her to make a comeback. They want her to start making music again. That's the general consensus that I've been seeing about the situation. They've been playing a lot of her old songs with her and I think Paul Wall. And it's just a very interesting thing. I think it's a very beautiful thing to see that, you know, you endure something, you endure a toxic family, and instead of being like them, you grow and being rewarded for that growth. And she has these other posts. I'm just going to go over the first one because that's the one that made the headlines everywhere, the thesis I said. And I'm not sure if she wrote it herself or she wrote an outline of it and had somebody else post it for her, but it was very well thought out. It wasn't malicious. It was actually pretty kind given the circumstance of how she really feels about the situation and them. Let's see. And I don't know if I'm going to read all this. It's like 7 slides, so we'll see. Let me get my bottle of water. I feel I'm going to need it for this. All right, try to get that mouth from being dry. All right, let's see. I tried very hard to ignore the issues surrounding my family in hopes I might have peace in my life. Sadly, I've been intentionally made myself smaller in my professional career in music and TV simply to dodge the public negativity surrounding my family that has consistently and relentlessly overshadowed anything I do. If it were just me, I would continue to take the hits, shrink even smaller, and avoid dangers of speaking in public. But I have my own family, and now it's affecting me more just me at this point. There was a recent video posted by my mother that was concerning enough for people to send it to me. That has made me feel the need to address the tip of the very large iceberg that is my immediate family. What little am I addressing does not even scratch the surface of what I have dealt with my entire life. I will start by saying this video is mild compared to the behavior I have witnessed for a greater portion of my life. This also comes in addition to false claims that she has previously posted then deleted. That being said, she has been through a lot of trauma and pain. My heart breaks for her. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you treat others and cope with things. And that's very important. You can not control other people and how they treat you, but you can control how you deal with it. And what I notice when it comes to people who have been through a lot of trauma, they project that trauma on other people and not realizing it. And sometimes they may try to protect that drama or avoid that drama to their immediate kids because they don't want them to go through it, but they will push that trauma onto their spouses, the people closest to them, because they figure they won't lose them. That's something that I've always noticed, that on one hand, they'll try to be better. On the other hand, they'll fail because they have not accepted what they're doing wrong in full. Next page. Let's see. Too many times I have ignored things said about me and haven't spoken my truths. Even so, I will keep things as vague as possible to continue to protect people that should have protected me. That must be her parents or her family in general. Most importantly, I have completely separated. Well, ladies are. All right. Most importantly, I have completely separate reasons for going no contact with each parent. No contact with my mom has nothing to do with my dad. No contact with my father has nothing to do with my mother. This is also pertains to my dad's second, third, now current wife. The decision was made based purely on how they have dealt with each other directly and dealt with me in my entire life. Let's see. What I'm about to say is not pointed at either person, and it's in no particular order when it comes to what they did, or who or what did, in my personal truth and what can be done on my own mouth. I have been extremely verbal and mentally abused since childhood. Sadly, it will frequently turn physical, and sometimes it's not by the person you would assume. Abuse comes in all shapes and sizes. Its vicious pattern has robbed me of a sense of self-esteem, confidence that I've been trained to pretend to have. And that's very interesting because whenever I watch Hogan's Knows Best, Brooke always did seem kind of, confident. She was a piano player, I want to say. She had a music career going on. She was dating guys, but they were older guys, I want to say, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen that show, but I think there was an episode where Brooke was a teenager, which I didn't think she was a teenager when I watched the show, to be honest with you. She looked older to me. They said she was a teenager, like I think 15 or 16, going on a date with a guy who was in his 20s, which I thought was weird, but Hulk allowed it. But he put a tracking device on the car. It was all kinds of weirdness. But yeah, so I don't know. But then you hear about the personal lives of Hulk and Linda and the things they were into and the kind of women that Hulk was dating and seen with. It questions a lot of things about their personal life that you kind of look differently in hindsight. All right. It took me many years to figure out the things that were seemingly done for me really benefit someone else in a greater capacity. Up until adulthood, I received berating and vile text messages, verbal and public ramblings with unbelievable hurtful words said to me that cannot be forgiven. I've been asked to defend poor behavior to the public and have done so out of love, only to find I was misinformed, manipulated, and lied to. Still to this day, I face consistent ridicule for these poor decisions of others. I've watched others benefit financially from my suffering and embarrassment caused by their selfish behavior, while I caused my life to crumble. I continue to stay strong and silent. I was expected to and did forgive massive blows to my career and personal life, nasty behavior, omissions of truth, blatant lies, manipulations, and repetitive errors in hopes of renewing previous family bonds. I've been used as a pawn, a buffer, and been treated like a downright stupid too. No child human ever experienced something like this. Should experience something like this. Now, I can say this. Whenever you're going through something like this when it comes to a family member, let's say if you have a family member of 5, a mom, dad, let's just say for this video, a mom, dad, and a brother and sister. A lot of the time, one kid will get the most of it, while the other one seems to be favored. In this particular case, it kind of seems like Brooke was the one that got the most of the harshness of the situations compared to Nick, because he got a lot of excuses made for him. he was very entitled. He was very bratty. And unlike him, Brooke actually was trying to work and do something and build something for herself. Yes, she did have the advantage of her family name, but that family name ended up hurting her in the long run. She probably would have been better off just coming out as an unknown artist with a different name. That show probably hurt her in the long run. But I remember that song. What was it? It Could Have Been Us, or something. It Should Have Been Us. It was pretty catchy. No hate at all. Okay. Feeling injustice, not speaking my truth, dealing with smear campaigns, flying monkeys. What's flying monkeys? Enablers of the behavior, watch fake wins over what real, and lose other family members, friends, in the attempt to stop gossip about ongoing drama. It's also a painful side effect of decisions I deal with daily. Many people witnessed this behavior and never took action and took a stand for me. But I did watch them stick around for the freebies, money, and occasions, time of fame, all of which I chose to give up. And I was never important to me in the first place. I guess some don't speak up to avoid getting caught in the crosshairs too. I can't blame them. My family is very skilled at war. I so badly wanted to see good in them, protect, help, and start anew, just to be disrespected again and again. I longed for a normal family, but never came to fruition. I repeatedly held my hand out for help, only to have them pull me into darkness with them. I set boundaries that were not respected, and at this point, I can truly do no more. I remember. Let me read that last part again. I've repeatedly held my hand out to help them, only to have them pull me into darkness with them. I set boundaries that were not respected, and at this point, I can truly do no more. Now, that last little paragraph or double sentence she made, that struck home to me because I had to do the same thing with my own family, put a distance, and I probably should make a video about it. But long story short, I have family members that didn't respect my boundaries or the new family I was trying to build. And because of that, it cost me my family that I was trying to build. And I haven't talked to my family since. It be like that sometimes. Families always use a lot of families, especially if they're Southern. You love to use the line, honor thy mother and thy father, yada, yada, yada. But you always stop at that line, continue to read the rest of the scripture. But with this, and like most people, you got to make a choice, and when you're in your 20s, you're still figuring out what adulthood is, what it means to be a man, a woman. When you're in your 30s, you have a vision of what an adult looks like, what that adult is going to be, what your family, what family dynamics you want to have. You'll see the things from your past family, your birth family you came into. You'll see the things that worked, that didn't work, and then you're like, okay, this is what I want to leave behind. This is what I want to take forward to make sure. These are the lessons I learned from the mistakes I made with my family, or just them just treating me wrong. We don't ever talk about enough how sometimes our families break us, and they never want to see us to get healed, so they keep trying to break us over and over again. And as long as they're in our lives, they're going to keep trying to break us. And that's a very sad thing for our family to want to do. So again, I applaud her for having that realization to go ahead and want to leave and separate from them. Now, initially, if this was 15 years ago, whenever Linda and Hope was still married and this would have came out, I guarantee you people would have said Brooke was a brat. Brooke is being ridiculous. But as time gone on, and you've seen the behaviors of her parents, the affairs, the people they choose to be with, the racial allegations, things of that nature, it starts becoming real that the parents were the issue, not Brooke. Time brings about a change, and the change brings about the truth. Okay, like I said, this is like a thesis. It still keeps going, but it's all good though. So here I am, an adult with a loving husband and two beautiful children of my own, and what I can do is take control. I have been to therapy. I am doing the work. I am breaking the chain, and it ends with me. And whenever a chain of hurt and pain ends with you, it's hard. And it can be lonely sometimes. But I guarantee you what helped break that chain was the love of her husband. Her husband probably helped show her what a healthy dynamic is. And instead of her trying to destroy it, she embraced the change so she could do better for her kids. Each individual on their own has given me more than enough reasons over the years to make this extremely hard and painful decision to end contact. As much as I'm not understanding and have empathy for their own struggles, I absolutely love them with every fiber of my being, which deep down I think they know. My heart hurts every day, and not a day passes that does not affect me. Inside of me, there is a little girl who desperately wants and needs her mom and dad. No one wants this, to feel this pain, and not have parents. But their behavior became more painful than their absence. I hope one day they realize and appreciate and respect why I've chosen to remain quiet as possible, not exposing specific names and details of certain experience to still try to protect them. It is not something easy to handle, feeling like you're on an island. Many don't know that years ago, I waited tables to build my own business with zero financial help from others, but I have worked hard my whole entire life. You see, I had no idea about that. I didn't know Brooke waited tables. I mean, she came from money. Her dad is, again, a legendary wrestler. Her mom, when she divorced her dad, I believe, got $7 million in the divorce settlement with, homes and everything else. Why did Brooke have to work? I mean, I respect the hustle, but you would think when you come for money, you shouldn't have to work like that. Cycle must be broken. I feel God has given me the strength and the duty to do so. At this point, my husband and children and relationship with God is my priority. There have been more than enough chances and reprieve given. It has stopped. It ends now. I will not let the false narrative continue past this point. Please heed my warning. I am choosing peace. But do not mistake my kindness or silence for weakness. There are families without food, parents with sick children, real hardships going on in the world, and our family was more than blessed. And everyone chosen to play their cards differently. Accountability is a game changer. Life is so precious. I want so much to be able to enjoy what is important. My children and my life I have worked so hard to create and protect, and I hope everyone can give me a chance to do that without injecting any more poison into it. Sorry for stumbling. Again, it's long. But yeah, let's go over some of these comments right quick. Why are so many dealing with the same narcissistic blank parents? It's so painful seeing love. Bro, I can't tell you how much it tugs my heart. Yeah. It ends with me. Clap. My family is very skilled at war is such a misstatement. Yep. Again, such a large support on this platform right here, this in the comments. I'm so proud of show carry maturity and a mindset and defense of yourself and your life. You have no idea how much I need to lead this. A lot of people can relate to this. It's not spoken about enough about how much our families, as much as we love them, they hold us back and they destroy us. Anyways, I talked enough. My mouth is dry again, and yeah. But if you watched, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Go read the post. Where is it? Go back to the top. Ms. Hogan, go check out Brooke's thing. I'm surprised she has less than 1 million subscribers on top of that too. Open Spotify. She has music here. I don't have a Spotify account, so Undiscovered Walmart versions, About Us. Yeah, that's the song about Paul Word, About Us. I know what I said before, The Redemption. So these are all the songs when she was doing music. Boomerang. 2024. I got to give that a listen. Just for the fact that she is sticking up for herself and trying to build herself up. That's kind of cool. Let's see. What did I say? Drew's dance moves? Did I say Drew's dance moves? Okay, that must be her husband. So that's Liam. That's Liam. That's kind of cool. And I don't have the music on because, let's be real here, I don't want to get copyrighted for anything. So she really don't post much at all. Okay. Yeah, anyways, I'm done. Like, comment, and subscribe.